What's up, guys? It's your boy Patt Johnny Bravo, back with our next episode of the Hollow Down Cigar Lounge. So we are here just kind of hanging out today. Second episode of the new revamp since we've started some things. So thought we'd do one a couple weeks after we did the last one, but like we said when we restarted, life sucks, life gets in the way.
It's been a minute.
It has.
Since then.
Now, the last time we said it's been a minute, it was like...
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Almost a year. Yeah.
So it's not a year anymore.
No.
It's about a month. But it's fine.
Yeah.
We'll take 1 month instead of 12.
Yeah.
But, first things first, before we start rambling too much, because the sticks we are smoking today are a longer, slower burn. So, well after we have finished talking today, we will still be here for probably another hour, maybe an hour and a half, depending on how fast we draw while we're talking. So, we're going to be here for a minute. So, this is Burkhouse Fumas Maduro. I'll explain the fumas in a minute for those of you who are not cigar aficionados. And let's see if this will focus for you on one of these cameras up here. It might not. And maybe, yeah, there we go. In theory.
Kind of, sort of.
Okay. So,
you get the idea.
I apologize for the focusing. We are doing this late at night, so of course lighting is always going to be an issue. So anyway, if none of that showed up on the camera, I'll throw up a little picture for you. So this is, they have several different sizes, but this is the Gordo size, which personal favorite size just because I try to actually sit and relax when I get my cigar. So you can see this one does have a double end cap on it. So I'm going to use my V cutter. I'm not going to use the punch on it. This cutter goes up to a 60 ring. This is a 60 ring. So we are maxed out on this particular cutter. But as long as you center it up, we're solid.
Yeah. And they're like swim.
So you can light these with matches. These Gordos, I definitely pull out the 4 flame just because it takes a second to toast. Same as before, we'll give it a minute to light up, and first things first, we'll talk about this puppy and see what we feel about it. Try to shut my watch off here for a second. So before I read anything, let Johnny take a couple puffs off of this bad boy. In fact, while he's doing that, I said I was going to explain the difference, so I'll get this out because this won't impede your thought process on your profile. So Burkhouse, and I'll read some specifics in a minute. Burkhouse is one of my favorite lines when I'm doing Gordos. You do need a good consistent draw every few seconds because it is a lot of tobacco. I gotta keep that airflow going. So if you don't know what the difference in this fumas is, and if you do know, don't hate, I'm going to be really stupid simple. Fumas is basically the backups or the secondhand lines or quote unquote the not so good ones. So 20 pack of these going to hit me about $60. Usually get mine from Cigars International or Thompson, something like that, and they're all approximately the same price. If I get the Burkhouse that does not have that word fumas on there, that goes to about $160.
I was about to say.
So, most cigar brands, cigar lines, I will actually notice a significant flavor difference between the flagship line and the fumas line. This is one of my exceptions. So to get a fumas, like I said, apologize to you who know I am going to be stupid simple for a minute. The roller puts together their flagship line, their primary cigar. The fillers, the binders, the little scraps that either one, aren't long enough to fit the normal profile in the stick, or two, he didn't like the look of it. The color wasn't the same. He feels there's a reason that it's going to be inconsistent. Sets that bit of tobacco to the side. Rolls fumas out of that second-hand tobacco. Or, if he's rolling one that looks perfectly fine, the binder and the fill on the inside is perfectly fine, but he rolls it and there's like, it's like this one actually. See that slight little gap in the leaf? Mm-hmm. You're not going to sell that full price because it has a cosmetic issue. I am experiencing no draw issues out of this. I'm not getting any air seepage out of this. But it looks visually impaired. So they're not going to sell it for full price. Mm-hmm. Now, because of those flaws and imperfections, they sell them at a cheaper price. And some companies I actually do taste the difference. I don't really taste the difference with these, so I actually stick to the fumas just fine.
Tastes like a cigar to me.
Tastes like a cigar. So, I have not given him any tips on this one. As always, I will pull up from Cigars International. I'm going to pull it up from them every time just to stay consistent, as long as I'm smoking a cigar that they have on their profile, which is rare if they don't. We'll read it, and then we'll see if you agree. Last time, when we smoked a cigar last time, there were some things neither one of us agreed on.
Nah, yeah.
Or, it's not that we didn't agree on it, we agreed that we didn't agree with the review. Does that make sense?
Yep.
We agreed that, okay. Hope y'all got that. So, Brickhouse Maduro. Profile is the same whether it's the fumas or not. It's so close. So, Brickhouse Maduro. 4 out of 5 on the darkness profile scale.
We'll say it is dark.
It is dark. Still not the darkest I've had, which is why it's a 4 out of 5. It's made by J.C. Newman. Says this cigar is darker and spicier. Has an oily Brazilian Maduro wrapper. Has a blend of premium Nicaraguan long fillers and its binder. It's a bold, full-bodied flavor, punctuated by notes of cocoa and sweetness. You pulled that up as soon as we pulled it out.
As soon as I smelt it, I was like, it smells cocoa-y.
I don't even know if I'd had the camera rolling yet. I think you said it right before. But, kudos.
I did call that one.
You did call that one. Slow burning, firm in the hand, and deliciously tasting, which did say it was slow burning, which is why we hit them up pretty quick once we started recording. It's got a good firm profile. Even on these fumas, I very rarely will find like a weak air pocket or anything in them. They hold their shape and texture pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all they say. You're basically good Maduro wrapper. Notes of cocoa with a little sweetness to it, which the sweetness is subtle, but I taste it because it's not really bitter.
No, yeah. I mean,
it is dark, but it's not bitter dark.
It's pretty smooth. I mean,
so the days that I've told you, like after we get off work, I'm beat down, I'm just sitting here chilling. And I'm like, and I'm out here like 3 hours later. You're like, what are you doing? Still outside?
These are the ones.
These are usually the ones. I do have a couple other Maduros in the mix that I throw out there that we'll throw in here sometime. Most of the time, as long as I have these, which I try to keep a pack of these in the humidor, it's usually this. Especially, you never know when you get a weird night, you need a place to chill. Definitely drinking the bourbon tonight. We got 4 roses in the cup tonight. Let's see what this does together.
Not bad.
This is great, that smokiness though, actually. Ooh, there it is. Yep. And no, we're not trying to hide anything. We're in these cups because we are outside and helps prevent ash from getting inside. It's a nice. It's trying to turn into winter.
It was like 62 when I came over here, something like that.
Probably about right.
I think that's about right. Yep, 61 right now.
61. So supposedly it's supposed to actually drop tomorrow. We'll see. So
yeah, it's supposed to be like in the 30s.
Let's see here.
Like Wednesday and Thursday night.
Let's see here. We're down in the south. We're in Louisiana. Weather changes all the time. As in, like, hourly. We can have all 4 seasons in a day.
I've seen it.
I have to.
I've seen it snow, be cold, and by the afternoon be hot and 75.
So, yeah. So, we're 62 right now. You're spot on. By early morning, 43. Yeah. And then Wednesday, it's supposed to drop again. Now, of course, over the weekend, we get right back up into the 80s. Then it comes right back.
Yep.
Next week, we'll be right back in the 85, 90. So, we get 3 days of winter.
I think a cold snap coming through or something like that. I don't know. I'm not aware, man.
I'm not either. They get paid for whatever they do.
The only profession you can be wrong at and still get paid.
Absolutely.
I think it's great.
Fantastic. With all that schooling, you can brain dump it and still be fine.
Like, I think as long as you throw out there that there might be a percentage of rain, you're covered. You're good.
It's like statisticians. You're really a statistician. You don't have to be wrong because you're only running stats. As long as you and another statistician agree with those wrong stats, you're fine. Makes it to a journal, makes it on TV. So anyway, not a whole lot to talk about this. It's a very good, steady. It is a slow burning, slow draw. It's a good draw. It's an even draw. I like it. But it's not much to talk about, but it is one of my favorite ones, so biased opinion on this one.
Yeah, it's, I'm still more of a milder cigar person, but this ain't too bad.
I was curious where you'd land because it's bold, but it's not.
Yeah, no, it really ain't bad. It ain't like overwhelmingly dark. It's almost just right.
Nice. So, preface, I don't know if it's going to be a couple episodes away because I've already got the next cigar lined up and it's got a special place for me in that one. Maybe after that. I've got the darkest cigar that I've ever had that I enjoy. It's not the darkest cigar, period. It's at the top of my preferred profile. So I told him I'm going to torture him for that one. Because if you remember last episode, he said he kind of likes more of your mellow, your golds, if you will. Well, I like your Maduros. I'm going to get his honest opinion on this one. Well aware he might hate it. So the very next one, I'm going to reward him with one that's in his profile. So told you we'll go back and forth. So, but hey, give us time to. We like different profiles.
That's
so
right.
good time for good, open, honest opinions.
The whole point of different cigars.
It is. So speaking of differences, good segue into this random thought. What do you feel about zombies?
Like Call of Duty zombies shooting them.
I mean, not necessarily. Normally, I'd be down for video game zombies.
That and Halloween are about the only thing I refer zombies to.
Okay, and so we're recording this. It's October. We're getting close to Halloween. So
That's like 2 weeks.
yeah, 2 weeks away. By the time I get this edited and put up, it'll be slightly under 2 weeks, but pretty dang close.
Mm-hmm.
So, in the sense of zombies, I got something that you probably won't necessarily think about as zombies, per se. What about insect zombies?
Never heard of them, but
I know this is a weird-ass segue, and I apologize, but...
do tell.
So, what is this? This came out of Science News, so... There are a couple... I'm an oddball, because I told you I'd get stuff out of magazines and online or whatever. The magazines that I personally subscribe to are a mix. I'm a tactical guy, so I have tactical life and ballistic.
Uh-huh.
I love those. I'm a computer guy, so I get wired. And proper mechanics. But I'm also enjoying my medical side. So I get science news, and which is all over. It's not just medical. And then I get brain and life because, after my dad passed of brain cancer, I don't understand everything that side of medical. That's a, no pun intended, a whole nother thought process. But general medical. This one came out of Science Life. I was just flipping through this one and I had to rip it out. This was just published last month. It says attack of a zombie fungus. It's in a Peruvian rainforest, and I'll actually do my best. If this doesn't show up, I'll actually put it on. I'll actually put it up on the video here. But this picture was the winner of an ecology and evolution photography competition. But basically, photographer found out that this zombie fungus in the Peruvian rainforest will literally latch itself onto insects, whether it be flies or whatever. It will drain them of their life. Think of the weirdest movie and video game where, or Harry Potter's Dementors, where they're sucking the life out of you, right?
Yeah.
And then they come up with these spores, and you are literally now an insect zombie because now those spores are keeping you alive, even though you're dead.
So, like, the insect himself is dead.
Right.
But the only thing keeping him alive is this fungus?
This fungus.
So if the fungus detaches, the insect dies?
Well, they would both die.
They would both die.
So it's like a...
So it's like they both need each other at that point.
Yeah. It's just only one of them still alive. But what's crazy is it's a controlling fungus, because the fungus will attach itself to you, and then it'll control the insect and make it like go to an area that's most conducive to it staying alive, until its brain function is completely gone. It literally takes over.
Does it say what insects it attaches to, or is it just random?
If it does, I don't remember. Let's see. It talked about flies, but
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
no, it just vaguely says each insect species infected.
You know what it kind of reminds me of?
What's that?
Is Spider-Man 3. Knowing that little black thing, it clings on to Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
And in order for it to survive, it has to be attached to him.
That's true. Pretty.
But once it detached, it went and found another host.
I wonder.
So I wonder if that's kind of similar to that.
So, it says for this fly. So the end game began when fungal spores landed on its body. Spores infiltrated the fly's exoskeleton, infected the body, hijacked its brain. Excuse me. Was in control of its movements. Controlled its movement ability to relocate it to a microclimate more suitable.
For the fungus?
For the fungus. Right temperature, light, moisture. Took over. When the fly died, now the fly is food for the fungus.
So literally the fly is just...
So it's like...
alive at this point to make the fungus survive.
Right. And then the buds that you saw out of the picture were the fruiting bodies work its way out of the fly that are now filled with spores to release, to go find new flies to harvest. So yeah.
Pretty wild.
It is wild.
And you know what the craziest thing is? That happens at like the microscopic level.
Oh yeah.
So how do they find out this? Like, who is sitting around going, let's just zoom in and see what's going on.
So they've got a reference here, and I didn't think to go find it, but they, in their own magazine, they reference an article back from 2019, or I guess where they first found this fungi, It just says they knew that they had ability to affect insects and control them. Maybe I can go back and find that reference at some point, but so I don't know. Like in this case, this dude was taking pictures for a contest and found it.
Oh, that makes sense then. Okay.
But it's just interesting because, you know,
Yeah.
a freaking fly. It's crazy. So, the zombie apocalypse, not just humans.
They're coming after the flies.
Coming after the flies. Cigars and zombies. Fantastic.
That's a good title.
It is
Cigar and zombies.
cigars and zombies. Of course, I'll put the title, whatever. I'll put the cigar that we use in the title so you know. And zombies. This guy almost piggybacks from the video game thing we were talking about last week. Or not last week. Last month.
Last time we were here.
Last time we were here. Last episode. These are good, man.
They're good.
I keep catching myself stop talking.
I feel like they're burning a lot faster than you thought they were going to.
I think it's the cold air outside, maybe. Might need to hit your other side. I think it's found an air pocket.
It's kind of
So that is actually a good example. So
oh yeah, you should have saw it.
Let's
How
see.
it just like caught on fire.
So that might have been a fumas because he felt when he was rolling it, he might have felt a little pocket or something.
Yeah,
Because
actually,
you cut it evenly, you warmed it up evenly, but it started to burn uneven.
yeah, actually, whenever I just lit it, it just like almost caught in flames. Right there.
Yep. It happens.
Doesn't stop me.
Probably got just enough of the cord left to. So yeah. Anyway, so since we're talking about insects and animals, you go from the creepy to the cute. Yes, I said cute. Cute. I actually took a picture of this when I read this one and sent it to a couple people. So, also in science news, but from a few months back, I missed one and ran back across it. Everybody likes a good sponge bath. Dudes and chicks alike. Most of the time we don't have time for you. Take a shower, go about your business.
Old and young, doesn't matter.
Old and young, don't matter.
But dolphins.
Dolphins love a good sponge bath. So, this was titled Coral Rubs Maybe Dolphin Self-Care. There's, where was this? It was in the northern Red Sea. The, bottlenose dolphins. A group of scuba divers down there found these dolphins.
Where's the northern Red Sea?
Let me Google it because now that you asked me, I don't freaking remember.
Wait, Red Sea.
Northern Red Sea.
Red Sea, though.
I'm brain farting.
Is that like, without looking at, is that like over in Africa area?
I think.
Does that sound about right? Now I'm really interested.
Crap. What my geography teacher.
Is that like Africa, Saudi Arabia area?
Dude, now I'm tripping.
I don't know.
Let's see here. Where? It gave me a city on it, not where it was at. So
Oh my god.
that doesn't help me. You're probably correct because Oh. Saudi Arabia.
Was that right?
Egypt. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I thought.
Yeah. So, the northern Red Sea, I guess they're particularly talking about the part that's up near Egypt, maybe not near Ethiopia or Yemen. So, if you find Saudi Arabia and Egypt, northern Africa, that's where the northern Red Sea is. For all of you who probably knew that and I didn't because we're idiots. Or I'm an idiot.
I mean, I kind of knew.
He kind of knew where it was. I was retarded. So, anyway, she, this scuba diver found them, but they were like waiting in line because there's like apparently a certain type of coral that either looks right or feels good to them.
Like
so they,
literally behind ropes, like line starts here.
yeah. Literally she was in fact thinking like, oh, maybe they're going to like argue each other like, you know, you tend to do over mating calls or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, they take their time, just run across it, go along, and the next one will come on. Like they were being polite about it. Which I always say that we could learn a lot from dolphins.
But you got to think like
Manners.
We take showers as humans, right? We clean ourselves.
Yeah.
So you have to think, how do animals do it? I mean, cats, they lick themselves
Constantly.
all the time. They're constantly grooming themselves. So when you think about fish in the sea, how do they do it?
Gotta do something.
Who would have thought corals, though?
Probably every fish in the sea except for bass fish, dude, because those are some slimy dudes.
Yeah. But you know what's sad? There's not a lot of coral reefs that are out there anymore.
Thanks to humans.
Yeah, we suck.
So, I love to scuba dive. And any of you that dive, you know this as well. I think I've asked you, have you ever gone diving before? I know you said you wanted to, but have you ever?
I've snorkeled. I haven't scuba
So,
dived, though.
They teach you, of course, initially you're learning your skill sets and your safeties.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if stuff goes wrong?
Mm-hmm.
But anytime that you're over coral beds, they teach you to use your finger. So if you're going low, you know, experienced divers, and I'm not to this point yet, you can actually control your buoyancy completely without touching anything.
Really? Okay.
I'm close. I just can't quite keep it there. But like ideally, you know, you can, unless you're holding a camera or something, you just kind of keep your arms to yourself, you know.
Right.
But if you have to, the worst thing you can do is let your fin hit the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Kick up everything. But you can literally just like try to finger tap for the sole purpose of touching it as little as possible to not disturb it. Because coral reefs they're struggling. And a lot of it's human tourism because they're pretty. People want to go see it. They want to go take pictures, but then a lot of people don't understand. They want to go play with it. The worst thing you can do is let human oil touch a coral reef.
Because then it kills it. Or part of the reason why they're dying, at least.
I mean, there's other issues, but,
Oh, yeah.
you know, I just found my little air pocket.
That would definitely be one thing I wanted to do. Is go scuba dive at some of the prettiest coral reefs around.
Well, I can tell you, man, I've got, I know we've kind of talked about it, but I won't drop names on here because this is not a local video, but I got people to hook you up with, like if you actually want to get scuba diving.
Certified?
Yeah, actually certified. You can go do Discover programs on cruise ships or locally, whatever, but actually get certified so you can just go rent gear and just go.
I feel like if we lived in an area that actually had better places to scuba dive.
So the lakes here are fantastic for training purposes
Uh-huh.
because they're disgusting.
But not looking.
Not looking.
That's the whole point of scuba diving is you want to go and look and explore.
Yeah, you got to go. Now there's some lakes in the surrounding states that are pretty cool, but like I did my pool training here, but I had to go, you know, cross state lines to actually see well enough to actually do my training dives.
Don't they, I've heard like one of your last days to scuba dive to get your certification, you like go to the bottom and you're supposed to take your mask off and put it back on and then clear your mask. I bet that's a scary feeling.
Only the first time.
Really?
And what's crazy is you do it in the pool first. So like everything that you can do in the lake, you go do it in a swimming pool. Controlled.
Right.
So your instructor can see you. So if something goes wrong, let's go.
Right.
The first time you do it, you kind of freak out a little bit, unless you're somebody that's done a lot of free diving and you're already used to being underwater without breathing.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing you can do in scuba diving is hold your breath.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of erase that habit, but you're holding your breath. If you lose your regulator for like this long, then oh shit, I gotta stop, hold my breath. So like they teach you release little bubbles so your lungs don't get trapped or whatever.
Right.
But it's rough. You know, from your pool you can see.
Mm-hmm. In a lake.
In a lake, it depends on what lake or what body of water you're at.
See 2
like
feet in front of you.
in Aruba, fine.
Yeah.
You know, in a bass lake, not so much.
No.
So it kind of depends. It's not too terrible, but you know, you're gonna do it in the pool, but then you go do in the same skills that you do in the pool, you go do in the lake. You know, a real scenario, but you got your instructor there, so
I've always
it's not
wanted
too
to
bad.
get mine, but then at the same time, I'm like, when am I going to use it?
So the good thing about scuba, and another one of our tangents here. So one thing about scuba is you pretty much go wherever, vacation, whether it's a cruise or go to the beach one day. Just take an extra day on your trip, because if you certify, you don't have to own all your own gear. You know, you'll have to have your own mask and snorkel and your own fins. You know, you can have your own wetsuit if you want to.
Yeah.
If you don't even always need a wetsuit. When I dove a few years ago in Aruba, literally Christmas week, swim trunks, sleeveless shirt. It was still like 85 degrees in the water. Just where you were. But, you know, I dove in Texas earlier this year and I was wearing 2 wetsuits because it was freaking cold as hell. So
speaking of Aruba, how is Aruba?
Oh,
Is it awesome?
Dude, peaceful, pretty water. So I've actually got if you're watching this on YouTube, it's on this channel, but I actually put up my video of that dive, and it was a group dive. It was a shallow dive.
Mm-hmm.
So we only got to 33, 35 feet. But there's some stuff down that's like 60, 70 feet that looks like I'm about to touch it. Even on my GoPro.
See, whenever
So clear.
when I went to Hawaii and we snorkeled, I could see 100 feet straight down to the bottom. Like, that's how clear the water was over there. And it was awesome.
It's great.
And so, you know, I just went to Costa Rica not too long ago. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, yeah.
So, one of the next... That's all right. I keep lingering
I looked up and I
away.
was like, he's going away.
You know, we keep going, looking at different places we want to go to next.
Right.
And Aruba is one of the places we wanted to go.
I can't pronounce this, but it starts with an O. It's like Onstetter. That's horrible. But it's a tourist area, but there's so much to like branch out from there. And that is, now I learned about it on a Carnival cruise, but I've learned about some other places from cruises. You know, you kind of get the hot spot and experience stuff for a day.
So you went on a cruise there? Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
when we went to Costa Rica, we went
you
to
just straight went. Didn't
we
you?
went to a resort. Yeah. So
like, but I tend. So I've used cruises to figure out like where I want to go.
right.
Like one of my favorite cruises included Grand Turk, Dominican Republic, Aruba, and Curacao. I would fly and spend several days in Curacao. It is super historical, super colorful. But I learned about it from a cruise. I would have never thought to go to this little island on my own.
Right.
I literally booked that cruise because of the Dominican and because of Aruba.
Nice. Okay.
Didn't really care about Curacao. I knew you know the name, it's cool. The liquor's named after it. I think she said it either started there, was inspired there, or something. But like, I would never thought to go there. Now I would.
Yeah.
Because I got to spend a day there, and I was like, this is a pretty cool place.
I think what we spent in Costa Rica, it would have probably cost us like a ballpark number, probably 4 times the amount of money going to Aruba right now. That's how much more expensive it was.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Is that just because of like popularity right now?
I
or
think
what?
mainly it's the flights getting there.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I think it was mainly the flights. Which I mean, then you buy a week for all inclusive resort.
That's true.
So,
but it's inclusive. So
but it's
a good value
inclusive. So
back.
so you're getting what you're paying for. But I think it was mainly the flights.
I do want to go there sometime. But
I'll tell you what. Now that I've international traveled, that's the thing to do. That is the thing to do.
a lot of my international travels outside of cruises has been, related to Mexico. So I want to kind of do some other things too.
In the Caribbean area.
Well, I mean, like mainland Mexico too.
Oh, just Mexico.
Yeah, but yeah, if you decide to do your scuba stuff, the good thing about it is you can pretty much tack it onto anything. Because like even if you fly. You don't want to waste money for your gear because you're not somebody that's going to go dive like every other weekend. So what you can do is just get your own, basic gear, and then wherever you're going to go, just rent the gear. So like if it's you in a group, you don't want to dive alone for safety purposes. You need a lot of experience before you dive alone. I still personally probably wouldn't recommend it. Go with a buddy, go with a guide, go with something.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you go, then you can basically, like if you're renting gear, $65-$75 will get you, you rent your suit, your regulator, a couple air tanks. If you want to rent the gear and have a local guide take you, a couple $100 will include all of that, plus the guide's time, plus the boat fee to take you out to wherever you're going. And then you're going with somebody that knows where they're going, so you don't just pick the wrong place and it's like, this is just open sand.
Yeah, right.
So you're paying for pointing you in the right place.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's for somebody that's not going to like dive for a living. You're not a rescue diver. You're not a dive master instructor. That's probably the way to go. Pay up front, get your certification, and then, like if you're going to Costa Rica or wherever you wanted to go, like the type of vacation, it's not a cruise, you just want to fly. Just give yourself like one afternoon, be like, hey, let's go dive.
Got it.
It's an expensive hobby, but it's not as expensive as you would think. Like it's still money. Money is what it is, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be when I first kind of started looking into it either.
You know what's something completely opposite of diving that I want to get into?
What's that?
Hiking.
Man, I used to try to hike. I never really.
But around here, there's just not many places to hike.
There's a couple, and I stretch a couple.
Yeah. But I'm saying like going to Utah and hiking the canyons over there and seeing all that pretty views and stuff like that.
I have no idea what this camera's over here doing. I have no idea. Whatever.
Cut.
So, comparison, if you're watching this, you got a couple of videos and angles, and hopefully I'm coming back and forth. I had him come over, and I completely misplaced my cameras. So that's why you had that one like real close-up shot last time. My fault. And I still can't find my really good one.
It worked.
I used to use it on another job, and I've gone through all that gear. I have no idea where it's at.
I used to have a water bottle. I used to take to the gym every day with me. One day, have no idea where it went. Literally do not know where it went. Can't find it. Haven't found it since. And I don't think I left it at the gym. But still to this day, have no idea.
It's like the mechanic's 10mm socket.
It's just gone.
It's gone. It's toast, man. Never to be seen again. But yeah. So I don't know how we went from insects to scuba diving, but we did a damn good job of it.
I don't know. But completely off topic.
Why would we ever do such a thing?
You drink energy drinks, right?
I do.
Very every now
I don't. I'm not as big on the like Monsters and the Reigns and the cans. I do my own shaker, like the G Fuel, like more of your stimulant-free stuff.
So I used to be really bad, like one every day, almost. So I've cut back a lot.
Surprised face.
I've cut back a lot. Okay, but not about me. So Bang Energy, did you see they're getting sued?
No.
By Monster Energy.
What?
So they lost like a $250 million lawsuit or something like that. Monster sued them because Bang uses a term called super creatine on their cans.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, super creatine isn't a thing. It was just a marketing thing for them.
Creatine's creatine.
Yeah. It was just a marketing thing for them. Well, they went to court and they lost it, like a $250 million lawsuit. They're like going into bankruptcy now. So
they sued him for saying they have a product that don't exist, I guess?
So one competitor suing another competitor because they're both in the energy drink
for false advertising
brand.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Jesus.
So I wonder how that's gonna play out.
Maybe we can find out before the next video.
But have you ever thought about it? Like, you go to a gas station, right?
Right?
How much money do you think these companies pay to make sure their product is displayed in those fridges?
That's a good question. I really don't know.
Like, it is.
But it's got to be a lot of money.
It's got to be. You go to any gas station and there's going to be Monsters, Reigns, and pretty much Bangs right now. Now, the newest things coming up are like C4s. There's The Rock has one out. I can't remember what it's called. But you have all these energy brands, and it's like everybody is competing
for space.
For a spot.
For visual space, really.
Yeah, for a spot in that fridge. I find it crazy.
It is crazy. Well, you know what?
Marketing.
We'll have to find out about this before we come back.
I'll have to read into it.
Because I had no idea about that whatsoever. Not a clue. Well, I think we're about at our lounge talk time. Completely off the wall on where we went with things today.
It's already over with?
It's already over with.
Wow, that was
I did
fast.
say we would. I did say we would not be done.
No, I'm still got a little chip.
A little bit faster than I thought, but I think the cool air helps. Same concept, you get cold air intake, it helps things burn.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so thank y'all for watching. Again, it's Patt Johnny Bravo. Did have a buddy that was planning on being here, and like we said, life happens. He is, as of a few minutes ago, still stuck in a meeting. So, but I have another guy. We'll have to make a little drive for this one.
Where's he?
About an hour away. But he wants us to come and film by his pool.
Oh.
Good old vet guy that he used to work with. I already know what we're smoking because he told me what we're smoking. He's already got them.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
I could have guessed when he asked.
Yeah, we'll have to plan that.
So,
for sure. Well,
pretty good stuff.
Again, like we said last time, if you like it, keep listening. If not, well, we'll still be here.
We'll be here anyway. So, if you got any questions, this will pop up on Spotify. You can see the audio or the video. A lot of your podcasts, the audio will be there. Feel free to shoot a message on that platform. You can send an email to thehollowdown@gmail.com, or if you're on YouTube, just feel free to drop a comment on this video right now. We'll respond to it. Said, if you like it, you hate us, you got suggestions, I'm all for it. So I can be toxic and trash talk with the best of them, or I can feel proud. Doesn't matter what. So
we'll still be here smoking cigars. So.
We'll still be here smoking cigars, whether we're on video or not. So, but I guess that's it. And until next time, stay safe, fam.